Hello, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome back. I have a recurring guest, Aly. Say hello.
Hello.
And this week, it is a special week. I brought Aly back specifically for this podcast because we will be reviewing Sudden Health. Yes. If you don't know who Sudden Death is, we will give you all the information that you need to know about him. We are going to be ranking our experiences of the 6 festival events that we went to last year to see Sudden Death. Some of them were at festivals, some were at venues as well. We got to see 4 VOYD sets and 2 regular sets. And yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend every single time. Now, to go into Sudden Death, let's give a background check about who he is. Now, Daniel James Howland, sorry, Danny, aka known as Danny, was born June 29th, 1993. So he's 28 years old, and he is a Cancer. So, yeah, I can see the emotional side. It's cute. Danny is known for his music as his alias as Sudden Death, and also for his off version of his VOYD sets, which is like completely different. He's basically known for dubstep, rhythm, bro step, death step, and then whatever concoction he's been making recently. I don't know what it's called, but we love it.
Yep.
Danny grew up in San Jose, and he was listening to Kraftwerk before being introduced to dubstep in 2008. He listened to artists such as Benage, Scream, Rusko, and then he later moved to Los Angeles, so he's just born cool, and he'll always stay cool, so good for you, Danny. He moved to Los Angeles and started producing electro house, hip hop, and big room house under a previous alias to work out his particular sound and style. He did have experience in playing various metal, indie, and jazz bands, usually playing guitar, bass, and piano. June 2nd, I think, of 2018, record label Never Say Die released Howland's song Prismatic as a single for their 7th Black Friday extended play release. It was a release on their Black Label sublabel, whatever. Bianca Silva of Bass Rush praised this song, effortlessly destructive in the best way possible. And from that point on, he has just been kicking it off with music. He is mostly known back in the day for his popular song collab with Marshmello, which is Sell Out, which I never thought that would be a collab, but here we are. He did Sell Out, and then he also has made a couple albums, Junk World, Spellband, and albums VOYD 1, VOYD 1.5, and also VOYD 2.
Which just came out.
Yes, and that is why we are wanting to talk about Danny, because the album is so fire, and we can't wait to see where he is going to go with his music and how he's going to keep changing the music scene with his not only music but his production. But with the new album out, Aly, what is your top 3 favorite songs on the new VOYD album VOYD 2?
Okay. So my top 3 are Rings of Pluto, Comprehension Barrier, and Dream Sequence. I think as a whole, though, I think Rings of Pluto is like my favorite song, like from beginning to end. It's just perfect. Like it's just so heavy and bouncy, and I love that like style of his. Just like
Mm-hmm.
very like upbeat and bouncy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and yours?
So my number one is actually Laughing Track. I get down to that song so much. It's like heavy, like you said, but like I can like shake my ass and pop it at the same time. I'm like, you know? I definitely love that song. Comprehension Barrier and Eldion Hex. I'm probably saying it wrong, but they're fire. Actually, I say 80%, maybe even more of the songs on there are just fire. They're gas. And
Mm-hmm.
good job. Just good
Yeah.
job. He did a really good job in turning this VOYD album into a 3-part act. So it would say act one, which would be the intro, couple songs, and then he would fade into act two, which was like its own thing, and then do some songs. And then act three would have its like final sequence of music to transition to the end, which was really cool and clever. And to see it live in a Void set, it's just
Mm-hmm. Something really cool. In Maze of Punishment, it's the first song I believe. It sounds like three songs in one,
yeah.
which I think is so cool because no one ever does it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is this the same song? Like when I first heard it, and I was like, oh shit, no, it's the same song. I was like, that's fucking cool. Like I don't know, it's just unique, and I love how he just puts his own spin on like what he does,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so unique. And
I
sounds good.
honestly would compare. I know this is a weird comparison, but I would compare Danny to Porter Robinson and the fact that they constantly play with their songs. They never give up. They like to edit it and do different drops and like surprise the audience with something different from a well-known song. Um, yeah, I would love to see a collab by them. Porter would be like,
I feel like on this album, Danny really just like gave no f's and just did whatever he wanted. Like, and like you can tell like it's just all cohesive but different at the same time.
if you
I feel
can
like.
see, he's not collabing with anyone. He's just doing his own thing and being independent, which Porter likes to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really like to see where he is going to go with this project. And I'm curious if he wants to actually collab with anyone in the future. Probably not for Void, but him as just Sudden Death. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there will be more collabs in the future as Sudden Death.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, when did you first find out about Sudden Death?
I want to say I think towards the end of 2018, I believe, because the first time I saw him was at Ultra in 2019, in March, and I can't remember how exactly I like found him or heard about him, but yeah, it was around then.
Yeah, in 2018, at the end of 2018, going into 2019, we decided we were gonna go ultra, and it it was just like Porter again when we went to ultra. We're like, we have to see Porter, we have to see Porter, just like that. We have to see Sudden Death, we have to see Sudden Death. And I was supposed to go see Sudden Death the third day, but I got like really sick, and I had to like chill out. So Aly went with Harley and Phoenix
Mm-hmm.
for like a 3 or 4 o'clock showing of Sudden Death in the
Yeah.
afternoon, and I was so upset because she comes back and she goes, that was the best set of the whole weekend. I was like, meh.
Yeah, it was early and it was hot, but I was like, I'm not missing Sudden Death. I'm just not. And that was my first time seeing him, and
It was at the worldwide stage, right? The
I
the,
think
the
so.
U one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was hot, but it was worth it.
totally worth it.
No regrets.
Yeah, so I actually didn't get to see Danny until Lost Lands. And it's funny because the day before he played on the second day, we actually got to stumble across a free meet and greet with Danny at the second stage. Subtronics was there with him, and I didn't care at the time for Jesse, so I only went over and took a picture with Danny, and he literally just got his freaking neck tattoo done
Yeah.
like 30 minutes before. It was like all red. Dylan was like, "Did you just get your neck done?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "That's so raw." But when I saw him the second day for Lost Lands, it was good. It was good. I wasn't feeling good at that time either, so I couldn't enjoy my first time of him completely, but the vibes were definitely there. Um what else? Yeah, that was our first times, and from there we have made it very apparent that we have to keep seeing him. So that goes into us seeing him 6 times in 1 year last year.
Yep.
And we will start with seeing him at Forbidden Kingdom. So Forbidden Kingdom was my second festival back from COVID. And if you haven't already heard, Forbidden Kingdom is a bass festival. It was in
In Boca.
it was in Boca, but it got changed to the Central Florida Fairgrounds, and it was an interesting night because he closed out the first night, and that was our very first time ever seeing VOYD. So I didn't know what to expect, but where we had such a massive group, we had like 30 people in our group. So we had such a big group that we were so far back from the stage, and it was raining that day that my VOYD experience was not, that was my least favorite VOYD experience because I couldn't hear that well. I couldn't see that well. I couldn't get into the vibe. So I just didn't really understand the vibes as much. And yeah, so for me, that one just, it didn't work out well. But I do have to say though, when he did his opening entrance, that was
Yeah,
so
that
sick.
was really cool.
Yeah. He it opened up and he was in the center of like the crowd and like was like raised on like a one of those, what is it called?
I'm blanking too.
It's one of those machines that lift you up in the air, basically. And he was wearing his VOYD outfit. He looked like he was God, and he's like with his mask on. If you don't know what he looks like, when he's dressed up in his VOYD outfit, he wears this big skeleton, like antler mask.
I think it's a deer skull.
Yeah, deer skull. Yeah. And he just upgraded it recently, and now it's like all gold or some shiny form. It looks so sick. But what was your experience with Forbidden Kingdom?
I think, to a certain extent, I really enjoyed it because that was my first time seeing VOYD. So, like, I was just geeked to be there. But yeah, the sound wasn't great, our spot wasn't great. So that was sucky, but still, like, I was still geeking out and just like, ah. But yeah, I think out of all the times I saw him last year, I think that one was my least favorite. I agree.
Okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page. So from there, I was like, and freaking August comes around and Base Rush Elevated.
Base Rush
Elevated. That came out, and it was like a 1-day event.
Yeah.
And you had like OG
It was
Nixon back to
Level
back.
Up.
OG Nixon back to back. Al Ross fucking slapped. That was my
Yeah.
second favorite performance that day. Level Up killed it.
Jessica Otterfred.
Yeah, she killed it. And then at the very end, it was Danny just doing a sudden death performance, and it was so great. It was a
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
It was at the Central Florida Fairgrounds again, but at the second smaller stage. And I honestly preferred that over Forbidden Kingdom. It's better to just do one stage than an actual festival there. That day was great. 10 out of 10 for just single performances. Well, that's the only single performance we saw of him at Sudden Death. So 10 out of 10 for that. But yeah, it was good vibes all around. And you have anything else to say with that?
I remember at that set he played transmutation sequence, and this was before he like released it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he dropped it, I just remember like losing my shit.
Oh. Technical difficulties. Okay, we're good.
But yeah, overall, really, really good set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was August 28th. And like we had our whole squad there. Me, Aly, Rob, Dylan, Jacob, Harley. And we were just like so pumped off that a week later, Aly's like, I'm going to Caverns. I was like, because I was like, damn, I've been going to I have all these music festivals lined up. I had 3 festivals lined up in September, and that 1 week that you're going was my only week off. And I was like, have fun, Aly. And I was just getting like more like FOMO. I was like, I can't have Aly go to Caverns and tell me how amazing it was and me not go. Like, I have to fucking do this. So I
Yeah, she calls me literally like the day before or like 2 days
Yeah.
before, and you're like, I'm going to.
I literally was just like, I'm going to find tickets. So I went on Twitter because I don't want to pay too much money, but it's also sketchy buying tickets from people that you don't know. So I posted that I needed 2 tickets, and one for me and one for Jacob. And this, I had a couple people respond, but this one girl goes, yeah, my friend is selling 2 tickets. And she's like $40 each. I'm like, $40? I was like, this seems like a scam. Not only did she follow me, she goes, here, I'll give you his number. She sent me a screenshot of the email. She was so accommodating
Legit,
and really showing me that she's not like a scammer. And thank you. I forgot your name, but whoever you are, thank you so freaking much because it worked out so well. Me and Jacob drove up. We met up with Aly, and literally no regrets. It was so cold that night, but walking, it was in Tennessee. Caverns is in Tennessee. So let's just describe the venue a little bit.
Yeah. So getting there was interesting. Like it's like in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
Yeah.
Like the roads are super windy and like I don't know. It's like a horror movie kind of.
Yeah.
But the venue is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like walking to the actual venue is just I don't know. It's dope. Tennessee's beautiful, and the venue itself, like Danny was born to play there. Like
Mm-hmm. Or the venue was made for Danny.
yeah.
That's what it feels like because VOYD is inside a cave. It's actually a cave. It's not a massive cave. You could get like maybe 500 people in there, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool, so creepy. We're walking to the outside of the cave. We're walking to it, and it said something evil.
Yeah. Embrace your inner evil.
Yeah, it had
Yeah.
like glowing words saying that, and it just felt so surreal us getting there. And we're trying to get to the front door to get inside, and as soon as we get there, we were handed these free cloaks. We all got a free cloak. Some people paid extra to get a cloak, but the fact is that everyone got a free cloak. So I'm so glad I only paid $40 and got a free cloak out of all of this. It just felt more legitimate. Like we're just about to get it.
And the guy passing out the cloaks looked like super creepy. Like it was just perfect. like everyone was so about it. It was awesome.
We go inside and it was cold a little. There was water everywhere, so our capes got muddy, but it wasn't too bad. That venue though, with his visuals doing VOYD, they projected the visuals on the ceiling the whole time, and it was the coolest, trippiest experience for like production purposes.
Yeah, 1000%.
I'll add like a couple videos at the end of this so you guys can see for representation what it looks like. But and seeing like the different textures of the cave roof and then the visuals on it, it looks just amazing.
Yeah, like being inside that cave, like it really brought out how creepy Void actually is. Like it really
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah. And we just literally boogied our asses off. Like, we're like, it just felt like, some people aren't into Void, but I don't see it as like this dark, evil thing when you listen to the music. It's just like enjoying great, heavy, dark music, and I don't know. It's not bad music. It's just different. It's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I feel like people kind of call it like satanic or evil, but I think that's a reach, you know.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's just how he's marketing himself, and
Yeah.
like people will go overboard with anything that they see, and that's just how he's marketing himself. He's not an evil person. He's actually a really cool, sweet person. So yeah. But Caverns, I think it wasn't Uber, but Space Laces
Oh yeah.
opened up right before, and that was sick. Those visuals for Space Laces was incredible. But out of all out of all my Void performances I've ever seen, that's my favorite one. 100%.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
Yeah.
Like most unique experience, like it not even being Void, that was the most unique show I've ever been to in my life.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and the fact that it was Void on top of that, like,
The cream of the crop. I feel very lucky and spoiled that we got to enjoy that.
yeah.
And then the next week we went to Second Sky. So I don't understand the math in that. We go the darkest performance ever, and then we have Porter Robinson.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great 100% great performance. 10 on 10, 100%. We'll go back, and we definitely do want to go back to the caverns. Like,
Oh yeah.
we're trying
sure.
to. We'll get to that in a second, though. So the next one that we went to, we saw Void again for the second time at Lost Lands. And you want to go take it from here?
Yeah. That was a really really good set. Like, yeah, yeah. No, he killed it at Lost Lands. Like, he just, I mean, it's Lost Lands, so like everyone just wants to go like full out, like heavy as hell, and yeah, no, that set was really good. Like, I feel like because we saw him at the caverns, I feel like we knew what was coming, so maybe that's why it didn't like hit as hard. But that set was still really really good, like for sure.
I would say that's my second favorite Void set from last year out of all the other ones. The visuals are on point, the vibes are on point.
Yeah, no, that stage where he played at was perfect for
yeah,
him.
the Wampy Woods.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely meant for that. The only problems with that performance that I do have to say is the sound bleed from the other stage.
Yeah.
And then I kept I was in the moment, but when you look and see the other stage from the corner of your
In the
eye,
distance.
Liquid Stranger was projecting some crazy shit. I was like, I turned to Jake. I was like, "Yo, you see that over there?" He goes, "No, I don't care. I'm here." And then he later tells me, he's like, "Oh, I just saw the Liquid Stranger." He's like, "Yeah, that was a cool set." But I would have not moved from Void. Like, and the fireworks and all that. It was just a great time. We had most of our Ray family with us, so yes, good Lost Lands experience. My second favorite for sure.
Yeah.
For our third time seeing Void was EDC Vegas, and
So that was a really good one. I would say that takes probably third place, honestly. Yeah, no, it was a good set. The intro was super scary. I really liked that one. That was the first time he did that intro. And it was a good time. The only main issue was that this guy like would not stop talking to us. Like, Like he was definitely like, you know, feeling good, which is all fine and dandy, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
he's like, oh, I'm having a great time. This is my best friend. You got to meet them, and that's my other best friend. And we're like, okay, we really wanted to watch it, but yeah, he was killing our vibe for that set. Whoever you are, I'm sorry, but don't do it again.
but yeah, like music wise, like I don't know, it just wasn't as like up to par like a set at Lost Lands or Caverns for
Mhm.
some reason.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I just feel like it's EDC Vegas, so it's a little bit more mainstream. And then the Wampy Woods is darker.
Yeah.
Caverns is darker.
Yeah, it felt more like a mainstream Void set for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
But the intro, like she did say, he literally was on the video and he looked like a dead corpse. And it was super creepy and super
Yeah.
cool. Shelby, however, did not like any of that, but her fiance was enjoying it. So she said, I didn't like it, but I'm gonna mark it off my bucket list and never again. I was like, okay, okay. It just rubbed her wrong. And void sets and sudden death in general is just not for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that Rose stayed and really enjoyed it. She was vibe. She's like,
Yeah, I would say Danny's music is an acquired taste. It's definitely not for everyone.
yeah, you would have to build up to really liking it. Yeah. So for that, yeah, that void set was number 3 for me in the void sets that we watched. For the last sudden death set that we saw, it was actually a back to back with Nghtmre. And I was super duper excited about this back to back, and that's why I bought my EDC Orlando ticket. It's the only reason, that and to see Dimension one more time. But I was like, I really want to see what they're gonna come up with, because both of them are excellent artists, and it's really hard to find a good collab or a back to back with artists like Bomber and Hesh. No. I didn't really like Slander and Spaghetti together, so it's just really hard to really work off each other. And I have to say, Sudden Death and Nghtmre was one of the best back to backs I've ever seen, ever.
Hmm.
They just worked so well together, and I'm not gonna like shit on Nghtmre because I love him, but you could tell who was running the performance. I felt like it was like a 70-30 kind of thing where he
Yeah.
let Danny do his stuff for most of the time, and then Nghtmre would join in, and the music that Nghtmre would play would go to, it would match Sudden Death's music, which
Hmm.
was really awesome. You have anything to say for that?
Yeah, no, like everything you said is on point. Like it really felt like Danny was dominating that set more than Nghtmre. Um, but overall, like really good set. Like one of my favorites from that weekend.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No regrets, not so ever. We ended up selling our ticket for the last day because we just didn't want to be there, but definitely worth going those 2 days. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for festivals and like shows that we have seen of Sudden Death last year. Um, we are going to see him next at Forbidden Kingdom coming up, and that is going to be, it's, what is it, Sun Death Enter Inferno, or,
Yeah, Enter Inferno, I think. Yeah.
and I can only come up with a couple of ideas of what that could be. I said last podcast with Jacob that I think it's a combo of Sun Death and Void together. But that's just only my guess.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Man, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I do have to say, all these void sets that we have seen have been amazing. I think the only one that I regret not seeing so far, well, 2 of them now, is the Sudden Death Red Rock set. I really wish
Yeah.
that we went there. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it looks bananas. He had like drones.
Drones, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing like crazy stuff. That probably is, if we saw that, it'd probably be second place for us. But I don't think anything will top Caverns yet. Um and then the ultra set that just happened, I heard that one was bananas
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he was like levitating and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He better levitate for he better fly and kiss all of us.
And his new freaking skull, like it looks like metallic or
Yeah.
metal. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it looks dope.
Sleek and sexy.
He's like slowly like evolving it. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely really wish we were able to see that, but we can't go to every festival. We can't do that. But we will see him at Forbidden Kingdom for Inferno, and then we. I mean, he has to go to Lost Lands. Come on, if you're not going to Lost Lands, Danny,
What? Yeah. Come on.
what are you doing?
What's going on here? Like, come on.
It's tradition, okay? We definitely hope that he'll be at Lost Lands.
I can bet that he'll play at Lost Lands, but what I'm not sure about is if he'll do the caverns again. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's kind of like up in the air.
So we are really hoping that he'll do Caverns, and I really hope that it's like the same time last year, because we have a wedding to go to and bachelorette parties and other festivals. So Danny, if you decide to do VOYD, please do it between September 1st and 14th. Thank you. But yeah, with that being said, I just can't wait to see where he's going to go with his music and see just the creative side. Like I feel like he has so much creativity that he just has yet to release, and it's just only getting better and more awesome. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like he just keeps getting better and better and better, and I feel like as an artist, that's kind of what you want to do. You want to like, you know, play around with your sound and get out of your comfort zone, and I feel like he's really good at doing that and like pushing boundaries. And I don't know, he just has a knack for music. Like he's truly talented, and I can't wait to see where he like takes it.
Yeah. He not only does like hard music, but you can hear in the VOYD album he kind of dabbles with some like light melodic sounding music, kind of like Porter in a sense. But yeah, truly a talented genius. Yeah. Well, that was a great episode. I'm so glad you guys were able to tune into our fandom of Danny. But can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Have a great night. Bye.